come by. I sit in the Norwegian Parliament for the Socialist Left Party, and I'm very happy to be here because the work you do not only for Uyghurs but also for the rest of the world. The fight for language and culture is about self-determination. It's about freedom for people to act out on who they are and the culture they have. I'm multicultural. I'm half British, half Norwegian. It makes me proud and happy that I can celebrate both my cultures, but I live in countries where that is very easy. Standing up against oppressive governments is the duty of all people, but especially of nations that have the power and the economic power to do so. And as I've said, Norway has done so at some occasions. They do use that power in some international forums, but not enough. And I think I don't know if you've already talked about it, but I must admit I was quite ashamed when the Dalai Lama came to Norway. You of course know of Tibet and their struggles. They struggle with a lot of the same issues that you have done. And he came and not a single person in the Norwegian government wanted to even meet him. Because they were more interested in selling fish to the Chinese regime than to stand up for human rights. And when fish is valued higher than human rights, we have serious issues with how Western democracies are fulfilling their duty to people around the world on following up on human rights. Oppressive regimes around the world have always feared minorities. Minorities are always difficult because I think all regimes that are oppressive want people to adhere to a certain dogma, a way of life, a way of living that they have decided is the right one. Whether it's the Iranian Muslim regime, it's the North Korean communists, it's the Chinese regime, minorities are always a threat because they so visibly stand up against the ruling elite that decides what is good and what is bad. You've seen this with indigenous people in Latin America, Indians, throughout the ages. We see it with West Saharans in Morocco. We see it with Palestinians in Israel and Palestine. And in Norway, in our own history, we like to be so proud, but we saw it with the Sami people, our indigenous people in the north, where we forced them into Norwegian culture. We forced them into Norwegian education. We forced them to not use their own language. You, of course, know these issues because it is the very same issues that you struggle with. So minorities have always been a threat, but the control is a lie. You can't control the human mind. So as long as there are minorities, as long as there are free minds, people always stand up to these oppressive regimes. But the minorities like you are often the ones that bear the brunt of the boot, that are stepped upon in the attempt to create control. And therefore, I would especially wish for you to also work on, I know you work on all these issues, but especially since you are a Muslim minority, or largely Muslim minority, I want to say that that is an added dimension that is so important in the world today. Because that's not just a struggle for you, that is a struggle all around the world, all around the Western world and in Norway. With rising racism, hateful rhetoric, and an unimaginable view of people that hold another religion. In Norway, we've just had a public debate with a minister in the government that said that the Labour Party, a different party, wants to support terrorists. We've had one terrorist in Norway, a white, right-wing Norwegian. Who do you think she used as a picture of a terrorist? It wasn't a white Norwegian. It was a visible persona of a Muslim terrorist. The fear-mongering in the West is putting people against each other. For you, it's about culture and language, but it's also about the fight for religious self-determination, for letting every single person decide what they believe to keep their culture and to keep their language. And therefore, I want to say thank you very much for being here, for choosing this venue, which I think speaks a lot about your struggle. But I want to say good luck with your struggle, but most of all, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you because your struggle is not only about your own struggle, but it is about the same struggle that minorities have all over the world. The struggle for self-determination, the struggle for language, the struggle for your own religion. And I see it as our duty, especially in the Western world, to stand up for those values, to stand with you in your struggles, and to use the power we have in international forums, in international negotiations, to fight for minorities' rights. And when push comes to shove, also when the media is there, not just in the back room, when someone like the Dalai Lama comes, when ethnic minorities, religious groups come to Norway, it is the duty of the Norwegian government and Norwegian MPs to stand with you in your fight. So thank you very much. I wish I could stay here with you. It is a mayhem day today, so sadly I cannot stay. I have to go back to Parliament for a vote. But I wish you all the best of luck, and I look forward to cooperation, which we've already started in the Norwegian Parliament, and our continued work for peace and freedom, not just for you, but for all minorities in the world. So best of luck.